All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I know you guys are glad we did this inside instead of outside, right?
No, we really prefer to be outside, Sheriff.
we can move outside in the heat if you guys want.
Okay, give us 5 minutes.
I want to start. Is everybody ready? Everybody set? Okay. I want to start out by first of all thanking you guys for being here this morning. I know it was short notice, but we have a very important message that we wanted to send out. I also want to thank you for the professionalism and manner in which you have handled Casey, his family, the shooting, everything else. You guys have done a tremendous job at respecting their privacy and the trouble that they've been going through. We're here this morning on Sunday because I want to continue on the path of being the most transparent agency in the country. I strongly believe that we have the relationship we do with our community because they trust us. They trust us to do the right thing. They understand that sometimes bad things happen, but it's how we handle those bad things that I think ties us and directly connects us to our community. So this morning, I'm going to give you an update on an investigation that's been going on as a result of what happened with Casey's shooting. As most of you know, there were 2 arrests made following Casey's shooting. One of them was Mary DeRosset, who was arrested for prostitution. Her arrest was part of an ongoing operation that has to date already resulted in over 250 arrests. That operation was initiated following a homicide that took place where the victim was enticed to the scene through prostitution. As I said, that's an ongoing investigation, so I can't go into great detail about the continuing aspects of it, but it is important to know that that night when our team was there to arrest Mary DeRosset, it was part of this investigation. Following her arrest, our investigators and agents, crime scene members, began sifting through volumes of evidence to include phone records, text records, ledgers, all sorts of other data and information. As a result, we have determined that 2 members of our agency were engaged in Mary DeRosset's criminal activity as customers. We have immediately separated from those 2 individuals. They are no longer members of this agency. We can't go into great detail about their activities. Can't go into great detail because of statutory provisions and policy about everything that took place. What I can tell you is that the moment our team brought it to our attention as a management, we immediately separated from them and sent them on their way. My goal and my commitment to you and to our citizens is that I have asked our team to put the entire case packet together. Once it's concluded, we are forwarding it to the state attorney. I've already had a conversation with Phil Archer, our state attorney, and I have asked him to prosecute them to the absolute fullest that the law will allow. We'll be up to the state attorney to review that case, look at it from a historical perspective, but what I can tell you is I'm absolutely disgusted by the actions of these 2 individuals. I'm absolutely disgusted and sickened by 2 people that took the oath of office to protect our citizens, violated their oath, and quite frankly did everything they could to embarrass themselves and the great profession that we serve in. I can't begin to tell you how sickened I am by this entire thing. We're not only forwarding it to the state attorney's office with a strong request to seek prosecution, but we're also following up with FDLE to make sure that their certifications are removed so that they can never work as law enforcement officers again. And to be quite candid with you, it's my goal to dishonor them as much as possible. In fact, they've dishonored themselves, and I'm going to help them along the path. It is quite, as I said, disgusting. You sit here and you see all the incredible work that an agency does. You see 1,500 proud members of our agency that work every day to protect this community, that have developed an incredible relationship with our community. You see a management team, many of whom are here with me today, that work every day to make sure they're getting the tools and the resources for their agency and for their members. And then you see 2 knuckleheads like this that go out, forget their oath, and do something just absolutely stupid. And I don't know any other way to put it but that. I wish I could go into greater detail with you this morning. I wish I could share with you. In fact, I wish I could blast the 2 photographs of the individuals up on the screen behind me, because as I said, they've dishonored themselves from that. So I'll take any questions you may have. Please understand that I am going to be a little bit limited in what I can tell you to include their names and finer details of it. But we wanted everybody to know that we police our own. We want everybody to know that no one is exempt from the law. And if you go out and you do something like this, we're going to work as hard as we can with our state attorney's office to prosecute you. So, any questions? Anything that I can answer?
I don't know if you can answer the sheriff, but how were you guys tipped off, if you will, that these guys were participating in this woman's prostitution?
Yeah, I can't go into a lot on that, but I'll tell you that it happened subsequent to the shooting. We obviously had no idea before. It happened as a result of our crime scene team and our agents sifting through evidence and finding some things that directly linked them to it. As I said, we immediately separated from them, took their gun, took their badges, took every piece of property they have that says Brevard County Sheriff's Office on it, because they don't deserve to have it. And so our team from staff services did that immediately, and our agents are continuing with the case.
Sheriff, how long have they been with the department? Are they veterans or?
One of them has been with the department for about 2 years. The other has been with the department for about 14 years.
Obviously, this is, you call us here, it's 10:30 on a Sunday. This is very important to you, is it not? I mean, I can hear it in your voice, you're very disturbed by this.
I am. And I'll tell you, I brought you here at 10:30 in the morning on a Sunday because I wasn't sure everybody would show up last night about 10:30 when our team finally gave me the go-ahead to be able to talk about this. I'm also about to leave. In fact, I'm getting in my car immediately to go to Tallahassee, where one of our great members is being recognized as the Jimmy Rice Canine Handler of the Year for the state of Florida. So, it goes right back to what I said. There's so much incredible work that goes on inside this agency and out in our community. And we're not going to let these two knuckleheads tarnish that. In fact, our reputation is strong in our community. Our community looks upon us as professionals. They expect us to be transparent, and we are. And quite frankly, our reputation is so strong that these two individuals' actions aren't going to tarnish us. In fact, they're really just a pebble in our shoe. And we are kicking that pebble out and not looking back.
Did you know the people involved?
Do I personally know them?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Did you talk to them?
I have not spoken to them. To be honest with you, I have a lot of restraint, but I'm not sure I have that much restraint. So,
Were you shocked by who the individuals were? When you heard their names?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was shocked by the fact that anybody within our agency, within our profession, would do the kind of disgusting things that they've done. So, to say the least, yeah, I was shocked. Shocked and probably angry would be the right word for it.
Sheriff, did they deny it when they were given the information?
I can't go into all the specifics of it, but I will tell you they did not. They did not deny it. Again, our agents are working it. Our staff services is working it as well. We immediately launched an internal investigation into it, and both of those are protected. And to be honest with you, the most important thing for me and why we're being so careful in what we are putting out about this is the most important thing for me is that the individual that shot Casey never sets foot back on soil unless he's got bars in front of him. So we're being very delicate, very careful in that arena. But I will tell you that both of them have openly admitted it.
Were any of those two involved in the investigation involving Casey's shooting, or?
No, neither one of them had it. They're not agents or anything of that type.
How's Casey doing?
Great question. I happened to be at the hospital this past Wednesday when the doctor came into the room, and he shared with us that Casey is on track to come out of the hospital sometime around the 23rd, maybe a couple days sooner, maybe a couple days later. They are very impressed with his progress, and he'll have a long road ahead of him on a home rehabilitative side. But his spirits are great. He is ready to get out of the hospital. He's able to eat any kind of food he wants at this point, and which is obviously important for somebody minding his size. But I will tell you that he's ready to come home and his family's ready to get him home. So thank you for asking.
Cupcakes.
Cupcakes, absolutely.
As the investigation continues, do you expect any other fallout, anything else can come out of it?
Joe, I hope not, but we are still very early in this. There's still a lot of evidence to be sifted through. There's still a lot of different phone numbers and everything else to be interconnected to this. My hope is that there's no one else of any significance involved in this, whether they work for our agency, another agency, or anything, but it's too early to be able to tell for sure. Anything else?
So these were deputies, right? Yeah, I think you said agents before, but these were.
They were both sworn deputies. Yeah, and as I said, we are going to follow through with FDLE. Our staff services team is already preparing that. We will follow through with FDLE to make sure that their certification is revoked. Obviously, there's a due process that goes with that, but we are going to follow that to every measure that we can. I've spoken to our state attorney, and he is just as appalled at their actions as I am, and he is instructing his team to look at this in every light that they possibly can to see what type of criminal charges can be brought against them.
I'm assuming these guys were customers of this prostitute, or?
Again, I can't go into detail, but as I said at the opening, they were customers of Mary DeRossit's. And I don't know how somebody gets to that point in their life. I certainly don't know how somebody that has the ability to wear this uniform that we are all so proud of goes and sacrifices their integrity and does something like that. But to answer your question, yes.
I know you can't release information about who they were, but were they married?
Can't go into that detail. But again, this is just today's press conference is a matter of me wanting to get this information to you as quickly as possible, because I do believe in being transparent. There will be follow-up press releases and talks about this, and at some point we will put everything out on the table that possibly can be put out.
Well, when did their names come up? Was it how far after like the shooting incident did their names pop up? Within
a few days, actually probably about a week and a half after is when we first started seeing it, and then it wasn't both of them at the same time. It came up a little bit of succession there, but we had to make sure we had everything absolutely locked in to make sure that our agents had every piece of evidence they had for it. And again, we're still sifting through a lot of stuff too.
I gotta assume these guys knew you were going through some records and their names might pop up, right?
I would assume so. I would think that being in the position they were in, they were probably sitting there on pins and needles wondering when the axe was going to drop.
To this point, did they have clean records?
Just to clarify, that was a week ago from Friday that we became aware, not a week after the shooting. So we've been working this for the past week.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Up to this point, have they had clean records, work records?
For the most part, yes. Nothing of significance that stands out. All right.
Make sure.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for jumping here this morning at 10:30. I also want to personally thank you for how you've handled everything with Casey and his family and the privacy you've shown them. It's it has not gone unnoticed to us or them. They greatly appreciate it. So thanks everybody. I appreciate you being here.
Sure.
Thank you, Sheriff.